In a world where friendships between very different souls seem almost impossible, two small creatures have proven otherwise. One is Sam, a sleek Bengal cat with bright, inquisitive eyes that flicker like embers in the dim light of early morning. The other is Pip, a tiny otter whose entire body could fit inside a coffee mug when she first came into this world. Their story begins in the unlikeliest of places, a zoo enclosure where Pip, the smallest and weakest of her litter, fought for every breath. How could such a fragile life ever hope for connection with a creature from another species? Yet, this very question would set the stage for something extraordinary. Born the runt of her otter family, Pip's first days were marked by struggle. While her siblings nursed and played, she was left behind, her body barely a tuft of soft fur and whiskers. And then, as if nature itself were turning its back, her mother simply stopped feeding her. The zoo staff watched in horror as Pip's ribs began to show through her damp coat, her squeaks growing weaker with each passing hour. Without her mother's milk, every moment felt like a countdown. Could anyone step in before it erased? Into this void of despair strode a young zookeeper whose love for animals burned brighter than any spotlight. She saw Pip's tiny chest heaving with effort and refused to abandon her to fate. Seeking permission from the zoo administration, she proposed taking the fragile otter home for hand-rearing, a plan that risked professional censure and failure at every turn. After all, baby otters are notorious for succumbing in captivity, and Pip's chances seemed slimmer than ever. Yet for this keeper, there was no alternative but to try. Once Pip arrived at her new home, the true test began. Feeding every 2 hours, around the clock, the keeper transformed her life into a cycle of alarms, warm milk, and gentle coaxing. And each bottle feeding felt like a lifeline. The milk warmed just enough to soothe Pip's chilled belly, the bottle's nipple soft against her tiny lips. Night after night, the keeper watched Pip drift to sleep in her arms, only to jolt awake at the slightest murmur, ready to offer the next dose of nourishment. Days stretched into weeks as she sacrificed her own rest, driven by a single thought: Pip must live. Pip must live. Amidst this whirlwind of care, another resident watched from afar. Sam, a young Bengal cat with a coat patterned like sun-dappled leaves, prowled his territory with playful nerves. He was curious about every new sound and scent, yet held back by cautious instincts. The keeper realized that, beyond warmth and food, Pip needed companionship to thrive, and perhaps Sam needed a friend too. Could these two beings, so different in nature, ever learn to share a home? To bridge the gap, she staged a slow, careful introduction. None. Pip and Sam spent their early days separated by a closed door, allowing scents to mingle and distant squeaks to pique curiosity. Pip's strength returned incrementally, her eyes brightened, her tail flicked with anticipation, while Sam's ears twitched in response to the soft, unfamiliar sounds. Ooh-doo sounds. Each day ended with a new layer of trust built on smells and muffled murmurs, preparing both creatures for the moment they would finally meet. When that day dawned, the room held its breath. The keeper sat on the floor, Pip cradled in one arm, Sam poised at a respectful distance. For a heartbeat, nothing moved. Then Sam inched forward, nose whisking the air. Pip fixed her tiny gaze on him, her whiskers trembling in silent greeting. A tentative paw reached out. Sam reciprocated with a gentle nudge. It was a moment suspended in time where instinct bowed to something deeper. In that instant, the walls between species dissolved and a friendship was born. From that first touch, their bond grew like ivy chasing sunlight. Sam and Pip wove through the house in a dance of tails and tiny paw pads, each learning the other's rhythms. Pip, once so achingly fragile, discovered boundless energy. She'd scamper after Sam's tail, nibble at his ears, and burst into bursts of exuberant chirps. Sam, in turn, seemed to adopt an older brother role, padding beside her to ensure no corner held hidden dangers. Whoa. Together, they explored every shadowed nook, transforming the keeper's home into a playground of trust and discovery. Raising a wild animal in a domestic setting brought its share of challenges. Otters, even hand-raised, carry the spark of wilderness in every sinew. Pip's curiosity sometimes led her to teeter atop counters or investigate dangling cords, her tiny claws searching for mischief. At those moments, Sam's presence became a calming anchor, his steady gaze drawing her back from the brink of trouble. With a soft nudge or an insistent meow, he'd remind her where safety lay, and together they'd move on to gentler games. As days blurred into a tapestry of routines, Pip and Sam developed rituals that spoke of their deepening connection. After each meal, they'd groom one another, Sam's rough tongue gently untangling Pip's fur, Pip's small paws massaging Sam in return. Then the chase would begin, a joyous blur of bodies darting across carpets, shadows leaping from wall to floor as the two friends revelled in each other's company. It was clear to anyone who watched that they had become more than companions. They were family. Word of their extraordinary friendship spread first through the keeper's friends and family, who watched in amazement as the cat and otter played together, seamlessly at ease. Videos captured the pair wrestling like siblings, curled up in shared slumber and exploring new corners side by side. Soon these clips found their way online, where viewers from every corner of the globe paused their busy days to smile at the sight. In Pip and Sam, people saw a reminder that kindness can spark miracles. But their story was more than adorable antics. It was a testament to resilience and the transformative power of compassion. Pip had teetered on the edge of death, abandoned by nature's cruelty, only to be rescued through one person's unwavering devotion. Sam's gentle acceptance reminded us that friendship often arrives from unexpected quarters. Together, they showed that love need not be defined by similarity, but by the willingness to bridge gaps of instinct and upbringing. Today, Pip has grown into a lively young otter, her once frail frame now rippling with strength. Sam remains ever vigilant, a proud guardian of his unusual sibling, Himby. Their days continue to unfold in bursts of laughter, playful tussles, and quiet moments of shared rest. Though they began life worlds apart, they now move as one, exemplifying hope's enduring promise. In a world too often divided, Pip and Sam stand as living proof that the most unlikely friendships can become the most beautiful, and that, sometimes, a single act of courage can change two lives forever. And so their journey goes on, carried forward by every purr and chirp, every gentle nuzzle and playful leap. A story that reminds us all, when compassion meets curiosity, magic can happen. What wonder will tomorrow bring? In the quiet moments after the day's excitement, the young keeper often finds herself reflecting on how much Pip and Sam have changed her life. Once driven solely by duty, she now wakes each morning eager to witness their latest antics. The way Pip's whiskers quiver with curiosity as she investigates a newly placed potted plant, or how Sam arches his back in an invitation to chase, his tail curling like a question mark in the sun. Neighbours and visitors, initially sceptical, have become ardent fans. Children press their faces against the glass of Pip's makeshift playpen, laughing as Sam dips his paw through the bars in playful greeting. Their story has sparked conversations about compassion, rescuing wildlife, and the surprising connections we can forge when we step beyond our comfort zones. Looking ahead, the future brims with possibilities. Perhaps Pip will learn to swim freely in a larger enclosure one day, Sam paddling beside her as they explore gentle currents together. Or maybe another rescued animal, an abandoned rabbit or injured bird, will join their circle, drawn by the warmth of an unlikely family. Whatever lies around the next bend, one thing is certain. As long as there are hearts willing to care, the magic of friendship will continue to flourish. What new adventure awaits them just over the horizon?